Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Thanks for joining me today. I am participating in Coffee with My Sunshines using trash to create treasure. If you have not seen Casey's channel, please go over and visit her. I will have her link plus the playlist link in my description box. Every month, Casey hosts this challenge, and she wants us to take something that we would normally throw in the trash or recycle and create something functional for our home. It can be home decor, it can be organization, basically anything you want. I have this big piece of cardboard that's really sturdy. My son ordered a new television for himself, so I decided to keep the box and the styrofoam inside of it because I knew I would be able to make use of it. I've decided to make some big, chunky, industrial farmhouse looking letters for my bathroom, and it's going to spell out the word bath. Right now, I'm working on the letter T. I decided that I wanted the letters 8 inches high by 5 inches wide, and they're about 1.25 inches in diameter. So I've got this old cutting board that I kept so I could use that for when I'm cutting things out using my knife, and then I can just use a lot of pressure and get through very quickly. So I put in a new blade and I'm just ripping through this project really quickly. Next, I'm using my craft knife to cut out strips of the cardboard so I can hot glue them to the outside edges of the letters, making them three-dimensional. I'll continue this until I've got all of the letter outlined with the cardboard. Now it's time to paint them. I'm using just some black acrylic paint that I have in my stash. It's just something that I've got hanging around. I didn't need to go out and buy anything new. And I'm making sure that I do the sides and the top. I'm not worrying about the back of the letters because they're going to be hanging on my bathroom wall. Now I'm going to be adding some burnt umber into the brown paint, and I want it to be swirled around and not blended together, as you can see here in my little cup. And I'm going to take a makeup cleansing sponge and just dip it in the paint and dab it around so you can see the black and the brown, and they're not blended together as a color. They're separate colors, but they're just going to show up individually. And it looks like it's a little bit rusted, and that's the look I'm going for. My second project for you today is using this big spice bottle. It is a Costco spice bottle. I'm just removing the cap because I won't need it. I'm going to be covering it with these little rocks, and then I'm going to probably fill it with that sort of crystal sand that you can see in this bucket as well. Both of these have just been sitting around in this bucket waiting for a project, and I finally got something to do with them. So I'm not going to be doing too much of a pattern with these rocks. I'm just going to try and fit them in as best I can. As I was working on it, I did decide to go a little higher on a couple of sides and lower on the other sides just to give it a little bit more character. Also, while I was working, some of the rocks on the bottom sides started to fall off, and those were the ones in the very beginning. I wasn't using enough hot glue. So with this project, you have to be very generous. These little rocks are very smooth and slippery, and so is the jar. So you've got to put a lot of hot glue in order for them to stick. When I was finished, I decided to add more hot glue into all of the little cracks and crevices. Some of the original hot glue had kind of oozed out and it kind of looked neat. So I thought, why not just fill everything in and then just make sure that the stones will stay in place. To cover the screw top part of the jar, I'm using some nautical rope and just hot gluing it a few times all the way around. I did have to use 2 little pieces, but that's okay. I'm using up my stash, so that was perfect. here's how it looks with the nautical rope on the screw top part. And now what I'm going to do is just spoon in some of that little brown sand about not quite halfway, but just enough so you can see it about an inch higher than the stones. I've had this green grass in my stash for a long time, so I decided to make use of it. And the reason I'm using it is because this whole little project here is reminding me of when I used to take my kids camping, and when I went camping, we went to a campground called the Pinery, which is in Ontario, and it's on Lake Huron. So the pebbles are always right by the water's edge, and then comes the sand, and then comes what's called the dunes, and there's all these grasses that look like this. So it was a really nice reminder as I was creating this project of all the good times we had when we went camping. A great big thank you to Casey for hosting this challenge. I really had a great time participating. If you enjoyed my video, please like, comment, and share. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell to get notified when I upload new content. Thanks for watching.